show up. And maybe we can start with the President. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Cabrera. Good afternoon, buenas tardes para todos. It's unfortunate that we're all here to talk about the retirement fund crisis and not together as Manangku. We should be celebrating this Manangku a week and a half ago. So, anyway, I'm here to listen. I'm all ears this afternoon to move forward as we discussed about this retirement fund crisis in the Senate and in the House. We hope that we can work together to address these retirement fund issues that we know has created a lot of uncertainties out in the community, especially among our senior citizens here in the CNMI. One thing though that we are committed in the Senate is before the pension for the retirees or even cut 1 penny, we want to make sure that we try our best, do our best in coming up with legislation or any legislative action to assist in this crisis before we see 1 penny cut from your checks. And one of the things that everybody has as far as assets is concerned, and especially for this government, is real estate. And that's why I keep pushing for 2 or 3 legislation that if we pass and we give it to the people this upcoming election as legislative initiative, that at least you have before you or before all the retirees a major leverage, and that is control over all golf courses, major commercial public lands, that before any developer or before the government can lease out for development or for any use, they have to get the approval of the retirees through the retirement fund board or through some representative of the retirees. And I guess not only are we going to realize the revenues from the leases or the uses of these public lands, but we have that leverage. And we're not talking minimum sizes. We're talking about 5 golf courses in the Northern Marianas, each containing at least 150 hectares, some up to 200 hectares. And that's why we're very serious with Senate Legislative Initiative, I believe it's 17-3, and that will require the approval of the Retirement Fund Board for any extension of golf course leases. And if the people approve that, that will, for example, authorize a leasehold interest of 99 years. And so we're hopeful that once that's passed, the developers or the owners of the golf courses can, and you know, we can work with the House. The Senate put in there 50 million, but that could be by phases, or it could be by appraisal, whichever is higher. So I don't want to go into the details, but we believe that before we start talking about sacrifices from the retirees, we wish to see that a lot of these public lands be given to the control of the retirement fund. I think that would be a major leverage for the retirees. The other legislation that we have passed is Senate Legislative Initiative 17-5, I believe. That one requires that 25% of the government resources each fiscal year automatically goes to the retirement fund. Because we hear a lot of suggestions out there, for example, that ask for maybe the abolishment or this office or that office, indigenous affairs, women affairs, there are all kinds of recommendations. Whether or not they go forward with those recommendations, we don't know. But one thing you know, if you cut the government 25%, the governor and the legislature will have to balance that cut somewhere else, and so that will mean the streamlining of some programs and some offices and major departments. So that's something that we seriously believe we should be able to pass and will help the retirement fund. Cut 25% before we work on the budget, give it to the retirement fund, and let the legislature balance the government operation. That's the only way that we can force a cut in government operation. And you know, 25% might be a lot under the current situation we're in, but that could be gradually, I guess, increased. So maybe if it's under $100 million, 18%. Once the revenue goes up to 120 million, it goes up to 25%, and so on and so forth. So that's another legislative initiative that we hope we can work with the House to amend that. And I understand that the deadline is August 8th for the initiative to be passed by both houses in order that it be placed before the public. And working with the House, and unfortunately it has to initiate from the House, and that is the pension obligation bond. I know that now may not be the right time to float a bond, but nonetheless, if we amend our Constitution now, it provides for alternative in the future. And as I heard from some of the retirees, they're even willing down the road, if they see that we're doing a lot in the legislature, that they're even willing to sacrifice a little bit, cut, so that they help pay for this pension obligation bond should in the future we exercise this alternative. And I know that this is not a popular subject, but the rebate is something that one of the congressmen is proposing. We are waiting for that legislation. We're proposing a cut from 90% to 70% in rebate. So that's something that, based on their estimate, is going to generate anywhere between $15 to $20 million in rebate that would be earmarked to the retirement fund. So, Mr. Cabrera, I think that the problem that we have today, and I want to be honest with all of you, the big problem is we need leadership in the government. And I'm telling you that, and I don't want to sound like I'm playing politics, but the governor simply doesn't make saving the retirement fund a priority. It's very sad. I have attended many meetings, and I don't believe that he is very serious about helping the retirement fund. I think, and I don't want to talk like this because he's not here, but if you were sitting right here, I would go on ahead and say the same statement. His sentiment is, there's no money, what can we do? We just have to move on, and we'll do our best to help all of you somehow, some way, but there's just no money, so what can we do? That kind of attitude, I think, is not going to get us anywhere. I hate to say this, but it's a fact. The way I look at it in most of the meetings that we have, we say the same thing over and over and over again. There seems to be no action and no plan, and what's the first thing we do? I think the first thing that we should do is to do the easy stuff first. Get the easy ones out of the way that the House, the Senate, and the governor can agree on. And what's the easiest way? Land. That's what we have. That's what we possess now that we can give to you as security, as leverage. And why can't we pass something like that that says we give these properties, these assets to you, and therefore in the future, if they want to do something with that land, we need to get your approval, and you're going to say, all right, we'll give you the approval, but you gotta give us so much of the revenue, or you gotta, it's something that you can bargain with. And to such time that we do that, I don't believe anyone saying that they're concerned about your predicament. The first thing that I tell the other guy, if I don't have cash in my pocket, is, do you want land? I'll sign over my land to you if I owe you 20,000 right away tomorrow. But if you can't even do that, how can I believe you that you care about meeting your obligation? No? So I don't know what other way, how other way to explain it to you, but really, you know, all this discussion about the Social Security, that's nice and dandy, you know. Yeah, let's do it. That's only for the new employees and for the active employees that want to go under the Social Security. But what do you have to say about the 50 million every year that you have to pay the retirees? Nobody's talking about that. They're coming out and saying, yeah, Social Security, yeah, but what about the retirees? They still have to withdraw 50 million from their investment. So nobody wants to talk about that. But let me tell you, 5 million here, 10 million there, 20 million there, and we can be on our way at least to tell you that we have 5 more years left, and then every year we can come and do an adjustment every year. Every year we can say, okay, it looks like we can possibly extend it another year, and then talk about revenue generation and all that, because I believe that we're not going to be like this all the time. In 2 to 3 years, things might start to turn around. So I think the plan is, how do we extend it to 5 years today? How do we extend it to 5 years today and work along that route, and then every year we evaluate where we are and adjust, make adjustments, and go from there. But if we're just going to say we're going to solve it overnight, I don't think we're going to solve it overnight. We'll never do that. So I wish I can say that we have a governor that really wants to hold the bull by the horn. Sad to say that this is not a priority. And he's not running, so I can say that. I'm not playing politics with him, but I'm just saying that I'm glad to see a lot of you people here, and you're the ones that can make a difference. You have to speak out. You guys have to come out with a list of candidates that you want to support. Never mind the party affiliation. Just say, these are the people we want to support. I know that not many will come out, because why? Because the brother or sister working somewhere. But if all you guys do it, they're not going to get fired, because they have to fire thousands. And so you just have to do that. I'm telling you that they don't care. Thank you.